Hi, I am going to show you our new system for Instagram story scheduling. Forget everything you knew in the past and just go with this. So we're going to start in Mondays. We're on our Instagram stories board in Mondays. It's under marketing. And I'm going to show you an example using a few of these here at the top. So you can see we have the entity, which is the account it's going to be posted to, who's the owner, who's the helper. We have some status and the due date. The status is the most important thing, so take a minute to orient yourself with these different options. Schedule in Falcon, working on it in Falcon, done, stuck, putting it in Untold or Mojo app, content collected, revisions given, need content, some content but need more, ready for review, and on Amanda's phone. So let's just take a look at one of these examples first. Content collected being that we already have the content selected. We don't need to get more, use what we have. Some content need more means that we have some content, we need to collect more, or you need to retrieve more from SmugMug. And then need content means we need to collect it. So you can see some of these stories have different ones assigned to them. And if you notice in the updates, a little blue box that's illuminated, that's your cue that there's some content in there for you. So I might have already uploaded the photos I want you to use, which if it says content collected and there's photos in there, then just use those and don't go looking for more. If it says some content need more, then you'll see I've put a few photos in there and I'd like you to either collect the rest from SmugMug or go get it on your own. And need content means that we need to collect content from scratch. There was none available in SmugMug that I felt like should be used for that story. Working on it might mean that you've realized you need to collect content and you're working on collecting it. So maybe Alexis is collecting it for Cappuccino Day here. And then looking down into some other examples, you can see that there's all these illuminated blue bubbles, which means that there's something in there guiding you to know where the content is. So we'll just click on one of these examples to see better. Sometimes I'm just directing you to a SmugMug album, and that's me saying work within that SmugMug album and select the photos for yourself. So here I've given you the link to the SmugMug album. This happens to be in Events Portfolios. The way you'll know is in the title. I'm wanting you to focus on Fnan and Addis. So here you can see that album. Just click there, open it up, and this is the selection of photos that you will be working with for that story. Go ahead and download the ones you want and upload them to that specific pulse. Go ahead and show you another example here. Bridesmaids at MTP Weddings is a more broad topic. I've provided a SmugMug link. You open that, you'll look in here and see that there's a few albums you can work with and just be working from the most recent ones. So that would be Ryan, Michaela, Jeff, Michael, and Fnan. Don't go searching too far back in the archives for older photography. We want to be representing to our guests what they would be experiencing now. I want to show you a little bit in SmugMug here, just things to be aware of. We have all these folders, and within folders we have multiple galleries. So we'll just look at the Millhouse as one example. You can see all of these galleries in here and that they're dated. So we have drinks 2019, food 2019, setting. We also have drinks and food back from 2015 through 18. And of course, we want to be working from the most recent. So if you needed to work within drinks, and I provided a link, then you're going to want to go for 2019 or next year 2020 and not go too far back in the archives. Let's talk about the professional photographer folder. This is another great way to look at content that's curated just a little bit differently. So these are, again, the ones at the top, the most recent, and we want to be working with the most recent. When you open these, you might realize that some of the photos are also in drinks 2019 or food 2019, but this is just curated a little differently to give you a selection that's from the same camera, the same quality, and more recent. So we've got our content collected, and now what do we do next? We're going to need to move on to captions and revisions. So let's find something here, and I can show you an example. Once you've selected your photos, you're going to add files from the computer. Now you got to add your captions. So we're going to play around with this baby's apparel story. You're going to hop in here and you're going to write the lines or captions that you think should be part of the Instagram story. So when you're doing this, remember that Instagram stories move quickly, they move fast, you want to keep it short. We want to highlight features. We want to give them the most important information quickly. So you just go ahead and write a few of these. You don't need to be writing them always necessarily for specific photos, but you can. So if you're envisioning a certain caption for a certain photo in a story, you can note which photo that should go with. And in general, sometimes with the story, you don't need to match certain captions to certain photos. We just want to tell the story, and it's going to be easy for me to curate how that goes together. Also, you're going to be using a couple apps like Mojo and Untold, where you can attach a specific caption to a story photo anyway. So you don't need to waste a lot of time in Mondays always organizing that. Make sure that if you want something tagged, you include it here, and that you've already looked up the correct tag for Instagram so that I have that at my fingertips quickly. If you're envisioning a swipe up to shop, make sure that you include that. And we'll just kind of finish watching this example play out. As you'll notice here, I'm mentioning different ways that they can purchase, because we're always thinking about conversions. So letting them know exactly where they can purchase it in person, how they can experience that thing, how they can buy tickets, where they can go. You'll notice I copied all of those captions. I've now started a Grammarly doc. I'm pasting it there, and then you're going to go through all of these in Grammarly, changing these and Grammarly them out until they're perfect. So let's pretend that you've done that, and we have them fixed how we'd like. We're going to copy those, head back to our Mondays board, repaste them, and then update that pulse. Then you're going to go out where it said content collected and change that to ready for review. That way I can go in and be checking to see what's ready for review. I'm going to pop in, I'll see that green tag, I'm going to open the pulse, and I'm going to read the captions. And then I'm going to give you some feedback. Here you'll notice I'll just give a little bit of an example of feedback where I'm encouraging the writer to add a description about the washability. So again, a feature. I might be encouraging something that wasn't in there. So we had mentioned the tees, but maybe we hadn't talked about the onesies so much. Maybe we hadn't spoken about the historical imagery that's on some of the tees. So I'm just getting a little bit of feedback here. And then I'll update that pulse. You'll get an alert. And I'm going to change the tag to revisions given. So that is your cue to go in and see what feedback was given to you, and to then make that happen. So here you can see the writer goes in and they follow the feedback that was given. And then after that, we're going to copy those captions that are written, go into Grammarly, Grammarly it out. If there's feedback that's given about existing captions, make those changes. Again, copy it, paste it into Grammarly. And beyond just relying on Grammarly's features, you'll want to take a minute to slow down and read it. For example, Grammarly may not catch us versus use because they are both correct spellings, but one is not the way you intended it to be used. So just taking a minute to slow down and read those things, check for proper capitalization, checking for okinas or macrons or other diacritical markings, and making sure that all of that is nice and tight. So here again, I don't go through the whole process in Grammarly, but you would, and then you would copy that, come back to the Mondays board, paste it, select update for the pulse, and then change that tag from revisions given into ready for review. That's going to allow me to come in and make sure that our photo selection's good, we've got our captions nice and tight, and then I may ask you to put it into the Untold or Mojo app, which we will take a look at in person and in a different video. But in that case, you would go to that app, put it together, save those, airdrop them to your computer, go here to add files within the Pulse, select from computer, update those, and then change the tag again to ready for review. So that's going to give me a chance to see how you're curating the imagery with the captions in Untold or Mojo app and give you some feedback, change it to revisions given. Again, you'll follow that process of making those edits, uploading the new version. Now let's pretend we have it all ready to go and I tell you that you can schedule it in Falcon. I'm going to change that tag to schedule in Falcon. I'm going to pop into this Pulse and let you know when to schedule it for. So in this case, schedule for November 5th. I might leave you a few other notes. You're still always going to send for approval. So now you're going to get an alert. You can take those slides or those photos and schedule them in Falcon. So you'll go to November 5th in this example. Go to Instagram, select the account where it will be posted. And the way that you know which account you'll be posting to is looking at that Mondays board under Entity. So for example, here you can see it says MTP next to it. Then we're going to go to Story, back in Falcon. Use that plus sign to upload the imagery or the slides. And then when you schedule, you're going to start scheduling everything for 7 a.m. And you'll always select it for approval, sending to myself. Scroll down here, select Amanda Hall. And then you don't need to put any other notes in here. All the notes are in Mondays. You've got your slides uploaded or your imagery. The captions are in Mondays. And you just select Schedule to Hub app. And then you can go in here and mark that it is in Falcon. And then once I have posted that content, I'm going to mark it as done. And then that's when the task is officially done. If you have any questions, come see me in person and let's work it out together. Thanks.